Welcome everyone to the 233rd weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. It's like August 18th and summer's nearly done, and I bet no one's done anything of importance, just like the rest of us. So that means you've all had a lot of chance to learn how to draw and learn how to critique, right? Right? Everyone's been just spending all their time drawing? Yeah?
You better be.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I've been doing all day.
Functioning human reaction. Yeah.
Okay, well, Ali made cyborgs, and one has replaced her. I'm concerned where the original one is. So, starting off with the cyborg at the top of our list, we got Ali Claw.
Hello, beep boop.
And then, further enough away that the robot uprising might take a few days to get to her, we got Artemis.
Hello, I'm safe for a bit.
Slightly closer to Ali Claw, but still past that water line, we got Fluffy's Eye.
Hello.
And thoroughly embedded with the spiders and kangaroos as a great defense, because the best defense is a good offense. We got Pixie.
Yeah, no, they can't even touch us down
Yeah, the robot uprising ain't gonna take over Australia. They are literally an apocalypse.
here. Yeah, they come down here, they're gonna get smashed. And we have a zombie who has been afflicted with a different world-ending cause thing. LD, Living Dead.
Yeah. I'll end it when I get around to it.
Listen, don't worry. You're closest, so you're next. We'll figure it out.
Well, maybe the robots don't resist the cold and they cannot go to Canada.
I mean, lithium batteries do hate the cold. But they
Listen,
also
it's
hate
not
the hot.
winter yet.
Winter is coming. Yeah. It's the stream time, so we're gonna do that. So, as always, if you got any questions or comments or art you would like to have critiqued, please fire it towards us at high speed. I expect near speed of light from you guys.
Don't kill us, though.
Yeah.
We can't critique them.
Well, Zom is. Zom does it.
Well, Zom's undead. We have to if we die we can't critique if we're dead, so they will then have to become undead. And that's just more work for LD there.
It really
We
is.
don't want to do that.
Make my life easy. Alright, so
And
our
die.
first picture, top left-hand corner here, we have a picture by Spinal Splat. What a fun name. It is Alex enjoying her evening, wanting criticism. I assume anything in caps.
It's cute.
Yeah,
It's a
I would
cutie.
assume so.
this is a good pony.
Hmm.
I feel like this.
The outline is interesting to me because it's not a full outline, because it does actually do. Where's my part? There's my pen. It does this overlap thing over here and like on the top of the mane up here. I'm interested in what the goal behind that outline was. If it's to be like that black outline that surrounds some horses, or the white little barrier that some people put on. It seems like you might have slightly missed the mark on there. If it's supposed to be like a depth thing, not quite sure if it worked correctly. It's kind of bizarre, and I'd really like to know what the goal behind it is.
Yeah, I'd normally see this kind of thing done in such a way that all the lines already have sort of colors, and you sort of just use that normal color for all this, and then you have like an extra white around the edge, just to around the very outside edge to like make it pop or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it much.
That's
Dark blue is an interesting choice.
yeah, dark blue is interesting, and I'm not sure if I was doing it, I'd probably make it blue a little bit darker, and maybe a little bit less saturated, something like that, just so it like, because at the moment it sort of pulls the eye away a little bit more than I think you might expect it to, or want it to.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting though. Personally, I think I would go ahead and leave it. For the most part, but I would just retreat some of the inner lines that have formed. So knock off the one above the main, knock off the one beside the main, the one at the bottom of the right eye. I would do away with that one a bit. Just so the rest of the bodies, like all the rest of the lines, look more cohesive in their feeling. Hey, Stratojaw. We aren't looking to spread hate at all. If you're not in a critique mood, like, you have to be in a pretty good place to get critique. Otherwise, anything we say might be misconstrued or might not be what you're looking for, or it might just bounce off and be rejected. We're looking to be as helpful as possible, and critique can be very damaging to someone. And like, I don't usually get critique because I got a very light ego. So if you're not feeling up to critique, don't go for critique. That's my suggestion.
Especially not if you're in that mood where you just have like an itch where you just want negativity. Like, that's not like a position of wanting critique, really. That's just like wanting to beat up your art because it's scary to think that, you know, maybe you can actually draw, which is something that everyone deals with. I certainly do.
Yeah.
But if you actually want to improve, then like, yeah, absolutely we'll have a look at your art. But we want a positivity mood.
But
Constructive.
if it's, you're just saying it for the meme, it's all good. We accept sketches.
Yeah.
If you're insecure about your art, like, you first have to be secure about being where you are to be able to improve.
Oh, if it's a traditional sketch, by the way, like, try to get, because we've had this before, like, try to get the camera like at least somewhat like over the picture. Cause sometimes we get like photos of the sketchbook on our desk at like a weird angle, and it's really hard to critique.
So help me, I will take it at an 88-degree angle, and you will have to project yourself across the line there.
I will add, not necessarily to use Stratodraw. Some people can, and there's so many people that meme about hating on themselves. But I will say it's a good thing to not do that as much, because as much as we laugh at it, it actually can be very harmful. We keep repeating the same negative things over and over again.
Definitely, 100%
Some people are
Yeah.
very secure about it, and it's great. But I see it taken, it's spread like throughout art like a disease, because everyone does it. Everyone, and they're not necessarily like, they're joking, but on the inside they're not. But yeah, I'd throw that out there just for anyone else listening. Like, it's not as cool to shit on your own art as a lot of the memes make it out to be. You're allowed to like not be
proud of
mean
it.
to yourself.
Yeah,
Just,
being
like,
proud,
you don't even have
being
to be
happy
proud
with
of
your
it.
art doesn't make you like obnoxious in any way. Like, be happy with, even if it's just like a small accomplishment that isn't like the best you can do, but you did something. Hooray!
Yeah, the internet definitely makes people have weird sorts of discussions.
So Spinal Splat. Oh, go ahead.
With the side of this head, I pretty much just made this cheek a little bit more of this thing, just a little bit more of a traditional sort of a shape you can see from this sort of an angle.
Barely.
And then added a little bit of a lip there, so like boom, and then boom. You have this sort of dip in shape that just indicates a little bit more going on. I'm currently messing around with the ear, but I'm not super happy with it. I think it'd be good to just like mess around with ears and try redrawing some. Try looking at like how other people draw ears and then seeing how you want to do yours and see if you want to change yours or anything like that at all. Might just introduce some like more complex sorts of shapes that sort of show off more of a detail in and side anatomy and all that sort of junk. I normally have when I'm drawing the actual like whole head, what I'll do is I'll have sort of the midline running through, and then section off this sort of side of the face, and then sort of have the ear coming out something like that, and then use that to sort of build up the whole 3D part of the ear for me. So something like that might be interesting for you.
The only thing I changed was the shooting star, and it's not like saying this is the right way to do it. It was just like an experiment, because I like what you did originally with the shooting star. Though I was like, it kind of like appears from behind the head, so maybe having like a little bit of a trail so you can see like where it's sort of been shooting from, especially doing that like anime thing of having it sort of like peter out towards the end of the trail. It's nice because it
That's
can
cool.
sort of show like the motion. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It just would. I thought would make it look less like it's coming from her head and more from like just passing her in the background.
I think that the curve here.
The only thing I quick doodled off to the side here was just another example on
Cute.
the outlining thing. Basically, what I had going on was I just lined art my thing normally, and you can see people do this where they'll have their art, it's lined art, it's colored, flat colored, whatever. You make a new layer under that. And what you can do is use your magic wand tool, or I'm not sure what program you're using, but usually there's some sort of selection tool. At least most have that nowadays, where you can select the horse you have drawn. You know, hopefully it's not on the same layer as the background here. And what you can do is you can make a selection of that and usually expand that selection with whatever resize tool you have. And you can essentially take a color. It can even be the same color as the line art. So black, blue, purple, whatever color your line art is. If you want to keep it colored, like you have here with the different colors for the hair and the wings and all that, that's fine. You're just going to need to do it like you did the original line art. And since it's just a copy essentially of your pony here, once you expand it, it'll make an exact like line art or surrounding around your line art. This is really hard to explain. This is more of like a program thing, and I wish I could find a program, but what it'll then do is give you all those bold lines around your character in the right spot and not have the overlaps that were going on there or the top of the head and all that, and then you get that nice big pop.
Yeah, because what we have here in the original pictures is literally just you've got like if it was all blacks, then it would just be an outline, and then what you've done clearly when you're coloring the character is like anything touching the outside has been turned blue. But then yeah, that creates all those like weird overlaps and stuff. So I definitely think what Ali's explaining is good. And you can do that in black, you can do it in white, you can do it in like in any color really if it goes well with like the theme of the picture. So have an experiment with that.
Yeah.
I particularly like doing it in white myself. I like my character's like a sticker sort of outline sometimes. But I've seen plenty of really successful things using like a thicker black outline around the character. Like my friend does that a lot, and it looks super nice.
I feel like if it in this case with a background, my personal choice, I would do black and not white because then it would sit with the background a bit better, but still pop from it. If I did white, white definitely makes it feel like a sticker and like it's its own
Yeah.
thing.
Those are best. White is best, I think, for when the character's standalone on a transparent background. Then it looks gorgeous, especially if you like put it over like your chat window or something. It looks really beautiful because it is a sticker. Then, so I agree with you there that I think black would work. But definitely the colors of the lines you've got on the inside work really nicely. I think you've done those very well.
With this this line right here, the transition between this part and this part don't quite look like they're connected exactly. It looks like this is sort of on like a curve like this, and this is on a curve like this. So just changing that up a bit, or even keeping the hair's outline color through here to make it clear that this is hair overlapping it and not the natural end of the shirt. Would work to make that a little bit more clear. You've also got this. I presume that this is kind of the middle of the pony. So, like, you know, you'd have a leg here, you'd have a leg here, and it matches the wings as well. So the head is sort of turning a little bit, and it might be good to sort of indicate that up here in the neck with some kind of line. I think that normally there's some sort of like on horses line that sort of goes sort of like this and then combines to like bulky muscles or something like that. So I normally have something along those lines like around here, and that sort of helps indicate it for me. Yeah, I think just you know, keeping on working on your stuff, messing about with your lines, messing about with sort of just references and trying to break down other people's things and see how other people draw things will just be super helpful. Yeah, but it looks good. I like it. You have a cool coloring, cool style, cool all that sort of stuff. These are fluffed up in a really interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit higher than I'd expect for the sort of pose or the sort of expression she's in. Maybe I'd push the expression a little bit more, like something weird. Something weird to show sort of why the wings are a little bit more bunched up on her body or something like that.
That or
But that's
the
just
wings
me.
below.
Yeah. That's just me though.
I gotta say though, chef kiss to the freckles. Freckles are great.
Oh, I love them. Always.
They're pretty great. Yeah, I enjoy them.
Given my OC freckles now.
Everyone should have freckles.
It's true.
But if everyone has freckles, then freckles are not unique. And
That's fine. I'm okay with
Yeah,
sharing.
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have plenty to go around. It's fine.
I've got a
you're
collection
allowed
of
to
them.
not be unique and have fun anyway. And
I
enjoy
must
yourself.
be the most unique alicorn god.
You're allowed to listen to pop music. You can do that. It's okay. You can do it. You can
But
have
I
you won't
freckles
gotta-
be
too.
cool.
What? Full of lies. Anywho, before we break out into arm wrestling about being unique, shall we move on to our next one?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job. Keep sending
Mhm.
us stuff, please. I'm excited to see where you go.
Mm-hmm. Your color works really nice, so I can't wait to see.
I do like the fade in the main. That's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our next one. Do not. Someone wants to read that watermark. I can't quite make out all the words on it, but it says
Do not
Valley and
use.
Friends. Also, yeah, Valley. Do not use. It's clearer on the JPEG than on our.
Is a watermark.
Yeah. So this is Valley and Friends. New here. I'm waiting for criticism on this wanting criticism on this full body. That makes sense. All
Heck
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
It looks cool. It looks awesome. We're gonna suggest things, but it still looks cool and awesome. Good job.
I like the teal gems. Like that's a really fun thing to add to the changelings. I don't know if it's like a hybrid of some kind, but I just love like gemstones and like
I think
just the
it goes really
colors
well.
you have going on. Black and teal, like oh, I love that.
Yeah, me
Mm.
too.
Head cannon. The holes in them, they just sort of jam the gems in to cover them up.
I had a commission to draw an
Piercing.
OC once who a changeling queen or something who she puts like these sort of like gel blobs, these like glowing turquoise gel blobs in the holes. That was a pretty interesting character. I feel like the wings are very far back, or maybe that's a changeling thing. Did it change? I'm not that familiar with the original changelings, but they don't come out from like under like the carapace thing on their back, do they? They just like sit on the side. Is
Uh,
that right?
so before season 5, they were just sort
Yeah,
of
like
there.
pre-change things is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like they should be a bit more in the same sort of position as so like Pegasi wings would be. I don't know if you guys agree with that or if I'm wrong.
I
I mean,
like
no.
after. Sorry. Go ahead, Ellie.
Oh no. I was just saying from my own personal taste, I would like them to be more anatomically accurate to a wing position on a mythical creature. Instead of like the mid back, like Fluffy was saying, where like the shoulder would be, have it come out from there. But that's a very personal choice. I've seen the bug stuff done differently because bugs are just weird. They have such weird anatomy, and you can look at bug creatures where like their wings are like at the end of them, but they still fly. It's You can do some
That's
crazy stuff. But if I were to pick for this picture in particular using horses, yeah, I'd push it up to the shoulder blade. But that's a personal. Take it or leave it.
Mm. Yeah, you can either choose to sort of push it more towards more standard horses, or more towards weird alien bug creature that like doesn't look like normal horses and is creepy. It's all your decision. With these sort of lines around it about, um, I've just been changing up shapes a little bit. So with how I like to do sort of the main torso of my horse pony things is I sort of have the main lump here, and then I have it go back to sort of almost a point here. With the way that your lines originally went, let me change colors a little bit. Oh, yeah, that works. It sort of bulged out here, went around here, and then sort of curved back, and that can work, but I like it to sort of bulge this way because it sort of indicates that it's all everything is sort of coming to a bit of a point here. If it ends up going that way into the thigh, then it just can look a little bit unbalanced or something like that, a little bit unresolved. With the shoulders, I'd probably to make them a little bit more interesting. What I'm doing here is I'm having sort of the same in terms of the front, but then in the back, that's where I'm sort of bulging it out rather than having it go up and then out like that. Just because having it go up and out, it doesn't have. It sort of doesn't indicate all that much. I was having them sort of do this more of this kind of a shape, sort of indicates that there is like something underneath there. There's more like traditional shoulder sort of anatomy. Yeah. I'm just messing with it.
The tail is also super long. Like it would be dragging on the ground. You see where like whoever drew that line on the bottom, like the ground line, like it would just go below that.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of it sort of being this like dragon-like tail. It's really cool. I think it would just need to be like positioned uh, in a way that's sort of. I don't know if what we're seeing right now is we're supposed to believe they are sort of standing on the ground and the tail is like sort of hooked towards the camera. But if you wanted that, you'd have to like bring it up a little bit so that it could overlap one of the legs slightly, just so we get that like perspective in of okay, the tail is in front. Otherwise, I think when they're walking, it would kind of be like curled behind them. If that makes sense, so it sort of goes down towards the ground and then back up. Like a sort of, you can imagine a long dragon's tail doing that, or it's shorter so it doesn't drag. Choices.
Choices. Yeah.
But I think with that sort of length, I would like again personal taste. I would do the tail sort of thicker towards the base and make it look stronger because it's definitely that sort of length. It's definitely the sort of thing you That's why I'm saying like dragon tail, because that's sort of like super long tail with like the cool like is it like feather or fur or something on the end. But whereas if it was meant to be more like a sort of horse's or unicorn's tail, it would be shorter.
Reminds me a lot of the Kirin tails.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it would
Cool tails.
it would be significantly shorter and have the hair sort of come in from a bit further up the tail of it, if that was sort of what you're going for. You just got to think about, because it's easy when you're doing art to think just like I'm putting shapes together to make something that's like an aesthetic essentially, but then it's just like shapes and lines and colors that makes something that we recognize as a character. And then once you really start getting into like characterization, you start thinking about like how does this character like move around during the day, and just like how does it feel to like, exist as this character. Yeah, you've got to have like mechanical consistencies.
I'm just doing a little bit of a sketch off to the side here with these back legs. I'd probably normally, or at least sort of with this back one, I'd expect them to be a little bit closer together. I don't know, two. Like the reason why we're seeing, why we would see a lot of the back leg is because it's sort of aimed more towards us. I don't know, these are so bad. But it's like that's like almost side on, so you don't really see as much of the back leg because it's sort of in a similar position to the front leg. Whereas when it's like tilted more towards us, that's when you'd probably like see a lot more of the back leg in that kind of a way. You sort of have the hips, just draw normal horse hips over this, or normal human hips that I've assumed are similar to what horse hips are. Something like that. And you'd show it off by like having some like straighter stuff down here. I don't know. I don't know if that was anything, but yeah.
I agree.
Horses
No,
good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Horses
But
are
honestly,
to go for
that's-
what you were saying with the blue outline too.
But don't stress if that like stuff doesn't quite come yet, because that's the sort of thing that just like improves as you mess around with art, as you sort of mess around with 3D objects, and improve sort of your spatial awareness and that kind of thing, and that just takes time, so don't stress too much about it. It's just something to keep in mind. Yeah.
Alright, shall we move on to our next one?
Let's do it.
Yeah, good
Let's
horse.
go.
Horse bug thing.
Plum, I don't think you'd lose an arm wrestling fight. I think you would just come up from beneath like a big surprise. We'd all be like, "Ah, it's Plum. We don't want to hurt her." And she'd just be like, "Boom!" Right to the ground, throws the table over. What, sucker?
In a few years. Give me a few years and then maybe, but for now, no.
All
Now
right,
I didn't do sport in a year, so you know.
I believe in you. So our next
really
one.
quick. Oh,
Go ahead.
it's just because it has to do with the changeling. So like they have the holes, right? What if someone made like a really punk metal changeling, but they put gauges in the holes? I want to see that.
Like, are we
So anyone
talking
watching?
like air pressure gauges and hydraulic pressure gauges, or are we
Yeah,
talking
exactly all day.
No.
Exactly.
steampunk one? Got it.
Steampunk.
We're gonna have a talk after the stream. I'm gonna teach you what
They've
gauges
just
are.
got steam pipes running through the holes in their legs. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like they,
Excuse me as I draw this.
Oh no.
So our next picture up is by Theodic Finch, and it is a commission I worked for a friend. This is Scatters. I know the wing joint isn't great. I don't do bat wings. I'm more focused on the pose. How's that look? Well, if it's a pose, thumbs up. Yeah, it looks like they're in a lot of motion right now. But that wing. Can we talk about the wing? I know you said the wing joint, but let's talk about wings. Are we allowed to talk about wings? Let's
Wings
talk
are
about
I
hard.
wings.
hope so.
Oh, a wing connects on one point on a body. So we're just gonna chop this little bitty off here. We get our joint. I would personally, oh my gosh, here, how about the colors? Colors, what's the fun of not having colors? I would push that joint all the way up, smoke it, move it all the way up here, and then we're gonna glue it right to that point. That's right above the shoulder blade-ish. And that will translate to more what MLP has done. If you look into the movies, they do the best examples of wings. In fact, they just do the best examples of MLP. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That movie was great. Yes, so I just push the wing up a bit and separate it from the bottom, because what actually holds out all of the flap happiness part of it are the little fingers. And I think on bats they are actually considered finger-like elements, right? Because they have bone going through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that.
They are on birds too.
Oh, do they have full bone going down?
They have one big finger.
Yeah, bats are weird and scary.
Evolution.
I mean, bats cheat because their entire this on an actual bat, that entire wing is going to connect all the way out and across their legs. Because that's, I mean, the nature of a bat. They have a lot of wing area there. Birds, similar idea. It connects out like upwards slightly on the hip, and it just has a little extension where the feathers make up for the rest of it. MLP, we always seem to just focus on just having a small joint, and everything else comes off of that, where there is no wing connection.
I
So I
think
do harpies as well.
don't be too scared to sort of have some more solid colors there. Like, for example, maybe you'll have like some fur that's like overlapping the wing or something like that. Having the kind of gradient, it introduces a lot of it just makes it look a little bit not quite integrated together, especially when all of the other outlines in the scene are, you know, these, I don't know what tool am I using? All of the other outlines in the scene are very clearly marked off with these. It's just something to sort of show. Something like that might help out there. I also just pushed in the mouth. The outlines are very non-contrasty compared to everything else, so I just pushed those a little bit. It's just good to keep it a little bit more in line with everything else, because when I open the picture, that's one of the places my eyes went.
So I've gone ahead and also added the second ear and second wing. Very easy to forget about it. Everyone forgets about it, be it
I felt like
experience.
horns or something.
Oh, they're ears.
When I
They're
first looked at this.
they're like the very, very tall bat ears you'd get.
Mhm.
So I mean, they make
They're
sense
cool. I
depending, like whichever breed of bat this is supposed to be based off of. Some of them get these comically tall ears out of them.
I sort of saw it like almost like a dragon pony when I first looked at this, because like the bat ponies do have like differently colored wings. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes.
I was just They just sort of reminded me of like dragon moves because of the color, I guess. And then they were so long, I thought that it was like horns.
I do really like the mane and tail. The way you've separated the hair into small elements at the end works well. It's not overdoing it at any element. None of it just seems to be anime fray, and there's no noodliness going on. You've done a great job of that. Also the fuzz, like little bits of fuzz around the neck here and shoulder here, little chest fuzz. You just want to snuggle the pony. They look fuzzy.
Yes.
I would be scared trying to snuggle this pony, but they still look good.
Well, they don't have a horn, at least.
They do have sharp teeth though, and sharp ears.
They do.
They could poke you with their ears. Just be like, poke, 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 poke. Also, tail connected at the right place. This we see this so often that it's not connected correctly, like following that spine. Yours is just spot on, buddy. So lots of thumbs up
Yeah.
here.
In general, the anatomy looks really solid here. I was looking at it, I'm like, ooh, this is I see all the elements that I like. It might be an idea to just very slightly sort of break up the shapes here, sort of have this pushing out a little bit more or something like that. I don't know, it just feels a little bit, all this being kind of one element. It's not wrong or bad or anything like that, it just kind of, if you look at a lot of horse art, especially ones from like more beginner artists, they'll have a lot of Fluffy. Your mic is dying. Your mic is dying. If you look at a lot of art from beginning horse artists, you'll see the thing where they'll have sort of the body, and then the legs will be in like interesting positions or weird positions, but then like the back leg will also be in the same positions. And that's kind of what seeing those two legs like that sort of reminds me of when I first see it. So breaking up that shape a bit, pushing one of those out might be useful. And also indicating, this is just more of a personal thing, but indicating this going back in to sort of separate the belly from the back leg might be interesting as well. That's something that I might look at.
All right, how are we feeling about this one? Ready to move on?
Just another thing with the hair up here. It looks a little bit interesting having this section be like colored in the fur color. I'd probably like have the hair, you know, do something like that, just so it's covers a little bit more of that area. But I don't know, personal preference. I like it. Good horse.
Good horse. All right. Last
Yay.
but certainly not least, we got a horse down at our bar. It's Melody Breeze 1, Pink Lemonade, an
Yeah.
old character of mine.
Now I want some pink lemonade.
You know, you can make pink lemonade with the addition of just a little food coloring.
Whoa.
I know.
Don't you pull my leg here.
I will pull both legs right into the kitchen so we can make some pink lemonade.
Nice.
So anywho, this is pink lemonade. It's a traditional horse drawn on traditional mediums with traditional methods.
I approve all the sushi circles I see going on here. I see you swooshing, and I appreciate that.
Heck yeah. Awesome horse.
I'm interested in what age Pink Lemonade's supposed to be, because if they're like CMC,
Yeah, the proportions to me said child, but I don't know if that's necessarily accurate or if it's just their style or abilities.
yeah, it's very chibi-like. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's without you being here, it's hard to give that sort of reference because in
And if it,
MLP are like CMC ages before they got their butt tattoos. They had head ratios of one head equals the rest of their body, including legs, which is pretty much your ratios here. So that would be great for that CMC age. If
I was
it's
gonna say like
oh,
even if this was CMCH, the head looks too big to me, but maybe that's my own personal eyes.
it's been like 3 seasons since the CMC have been that size. Go back to the early stuff.
I don't remember it being quite this proportion though.
They're
Maybe it's
they're
just the features of the face that are throwing me off. I don't know.
it's like if you look at the CMC like when they first came out compared to their body is just about the size of their head. So like in comparison, yeah, their head's huge, but that's like the show proportions. And like we're talking here, I think it's hard to tell
Yeah,
because it's
I
like the style they drew the body is very mare-like, but the size proportions are very filly-like, so the hair feels even that much. I mean, the head feels that much
yeah.
more bigger.
I think it's because if we look at like the I think to do with like the eye leaving a lot of space in the head, and then like this like really small front mane, the fringe, makes it look like the head is like proportioned as if it was like on a much bigger horse. Just to me, and I feel like if it was done like this, have the eye be a decent size, even if you want to do an expression or something, and have the see how the piece of code like this. If you're gonna have the main be like be much bigger proportion, then it would have more fillet sizes. I don't quite know how this main is supposed to be shaped, but yeah. That and the main thing I changed was like the back legs are way thicker from the front legs. They're not quite sat on the right plane. Like the front legs are almost like off to the right of the character if we're looking at them like front on. Um, and they're obviously just like much uh smaller. That or they're like literally like sat on like an invisible box or something. They're higher up, but considering that they're straight out, it seems a bit weird. But the back is like curved down in the original drawing as well. But even if they were like leaned up on a box, the back legs were too thick compared to the front legs, so just evened out the size. And if they are standing, I sort of gave them a more standing pose. But I feel like that's what you were going for, because if they were reeling up, we'd very much see it in the pose, and they wouldn't just be like slightly lifted off the ground. So I feel like you're going for standing in this one. So body straightened out a little bit, legs consistent sized. Ooh, that's big. Yeah.
So if this is like a little filly, a tip that I really like to think about here is especially for proportioning the head. Usually, like, so if we draw a circle here, usually we can split that circle in half to start getting our proportions. But if you want to get that cute little tiny baby feel to something, not only should we split the face in half, but also into fourths, so you can even do the top and the bottom. And the muzzle there will actually come out at the bottom fourth of the circle. So like I have up here, just a little bitty baby muzzle for a little baby character. And the other thing with like little cutesy characters, they get huge eyes. So compared to that baby muzzle, the eyes are gonna be nice and huge and cute, and they're just gonna look up at you, and you're gonna want to give them candy because they're just little cute little ponies. But like stuff like that, little changing features like that can change the feel of the age. So I highly recommend. You can find it a lot in cartooning books. Just examples of even humans, but differences between humans and adults. Well, not humans and adults, adults and babies. Like if you look at a baby's face, it's structured so much differently than a human's face. And by observing these differences, we can learn how to push the character, push their age into their anatomy. So I highly recommend giving that a look-see.
Hallie, how cute
Yes.
do I need to be to get free candy?
Well, see, you're very special because you're just born cute. I know it's an affliction you've been dealing with, but you're born cute. You get candy. It's just that's the game you play.
Look at that save.
I would have just went for your friend to get candy, but
Is that what they mean by friends with benefits?
Sure, Dom. Yeah.
no, that doesn't mean that you can eat our brains. That's not what it means.
Just a light snack?
Hmm.
Listen, I want you for your brains, not your body.
If I let you had a chunk of my brain, even for a snack, there wouldn't be much left.
I'll only be short a bite mark or two. Alright, we have no other art posted. So if anyone else has any other art they'd like to submit, now's your chance. Or you're going to have to wait till next week. Because we totally stop existing after this stream.
It's true. We go back in our hidey holes.
Yeah,
Just
Strata.
disappear from the internet.
Yeah. Strata Draw, if you want to submit stuff, send us a link. Oh, yeah.
Has come
Or
to
come to our
town.
Discord and ping us later.
I think they're on our
You
Discord.
come to me,
I know.
Princess Zelda.
Abstract. No. Oh, I have a Strato. Maybe that's them.
Stratocaster. I'm just drawing this pony off to the side because I like this pony. They're good.
He's cutie patootie.
Yeah. I like bows in the hair. It's always interesting trying to work out where the hair goes and how it all overlaps and everything like that.
Make your pose, Pixie.
Thank you.
They need a second. They have a quick sketch.
Quick. Draw. Pose.
Got
Draw
that
a
real fast.
picture real quick and then submit it to us.
Are we having a live draw along?
I'm down.
Critique
That's
along.
good. So I can.
I haven't
Procrastinate
participated
from
in
trying
draw
to
along
fix
in
that.
months. I feel bad. I just haven't been drawing.
Oh my god, it's such an adorable picture.
What?
Show us. Show everyone.
Everyone, where's our chat? There's our chat.
Oh, this artist looks familiar. Who did this?
I think it's the person who does the overly fluffy animals. Like they've done a bunch of little red foxes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember their name. I can't for the love of me. Ah.
I don't know.
Nice.
I found the link like this.
I found it like this.
It's like this when I got here as well.
I got a PM. It's got a file name of ass.
Ooh my.
Drawing cute ponies is fun.
Downloading, resizing, doing horse.
Horse.
Horse. Horse. Of course it's a horse. Pixie's just over here drawing horses.
Aha,
I
I
like
found him.
horses.
You like horses? I like horses. We should be friends.
I
Whoa.
like trains.
Good answer. Alright, it's posted. It's beside the boop.
Sorry, I'm halfway through coloring stuff. I'll join you in a.
Look at how adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a full Twilight and stuff.
I would say the expression is there as a sort of your goal was sort of a like a caring slight confusion. Yeah.
Don't delete the drawing. I'm drawing the wrong layer.
Kinda. Alright, so what was the full goal of that expression? For Twiggly
You guys
Pea.
just re-sketch it in your way, kinda. Yeah.
Also, I'm jealous of these drawing tablets. They look nice. Nice little cable coming out the side there, as opposed to just like dangling off in a weird angle and it's being a weak little connector. Like, look at
See,
it.
my Canvas 13, I think it is, has like a really like the cable actually goes like into like a little cave, so it's supported and it's like a right angle straight out of the tablet. It's real nice, sturdy. It's a Type C as well, so not that crappy mini USB.
Maybe you could push this hoof over a little bit. Yeah.
Rejoin.
Okay. I like it. This Twilight looks cool.
Is meant for comedy and educative intentions. They got secret intentions.
What kind of education intentions?
Are you telling us you're proposing to me?
Aw, how sweet.
I know. I think that your expressions here are serviceable. They get across what you want to get across. The main things that help me with sort of expressions and learning to push them and all that sort of stuff is honestly just trying to fill out expression pages. Grabbing a collection of cats and dogs and just human references and cartoon references and trying to just redraw things onto expression pages. And I'm sure these two are going to do amazing jobs redrawing stuff. But I know you can do it.
You got this?
Yeah.
We got this together.
Every time.
I should probably zoom in.
Yeah, they're going to do their cool stuff, drawing on separate things, and I'm just going to redraw on top of it because I'm lazy.
You got this.
We got this.
Woo.
together.
Every day is silly in the MLPDS.
Mm-hmm. This is very true.
I like this sort of hair bump here. I'd probably try and push that a little bit more. If I was you. And push these curves a little bit. And I like just like pushing things until they break. And yes, you are correct. With
And the invisible
producing
marker's me.
colors.
And me. We're actually fighting for it. That's why you don't say anything.
I keep rubbing lemon onto my screen, but it's not revealing it.
And that was the last one. That was the last picture.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I do really
I
like the
really
shape
like
of
the
this.
I really like the perspective of these. These look good.
You got any other questions for us on this one?
Expressions are always the worst.
They can be very tricky, but they can also be like the most rewarding. Depends like what sort of like emotion you're trying to. Oh god, my page reloaded on me.
No.
Don't worry, I'll finish your drawing.
Yeah, I'm back. No.
Okay, I'll let you resume.
Is she just going for like a sympathetic expression, or is it like a quacked eye? Is it more in the, like the original drawing?
Alright, well, they finish up their last little drawing practices over on the side. If anyone else has any art they'd like to submit, any other questions they'd like to ask, now's your chance.
See, I can't decide how I want to do this. You want to see how I do this? It's gather 30 references, look over
Yeah,
my
yeah.
options, try out 20 different things. Uh, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you want if you ever go into something just wanting to do a quick sketch, and you're like, oh, this isn't turning out great. Well, you're not giving it a chance to flourish. You're not giving it a chance. You're not giving yourself a chance to learn the things you need to tackle the problem at hand. So, like, if I want to draw a certain expression and I'm doing a quick sketch of it, it's never going to work out for me if I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of every drawing tip or trick or like facial expression. I don't have like a photogenic memory of human faces versus animal faces versus yada yada yada. Sure, stuff builds
Mhm.
up over time, but to get exact expressions, to get exact feelings, you need to take that time to observe things because what your brain thinks it remembers isn't as clear as what it actually is. Your brain remembers like blotchy memories. Like, sure, some people are really lucky and special and can just recall, I don't know, all the words in the dictionary without looking in the dictionary. But most people aren't like that. And to give yourself reference is like the most human thing you can do. And it's the best you can do. And it's going to improve your art the more you reference because it's just going to expand that mind of yours.
Expand your mind.
Yeah. Heck yeah, references. I think that I can't decide where to take the mouth is kind of the main part of the expression that I would want to change. Um If you look at my browser search history, there are a lot of searches on Bing of like happy face, sad cartoon mouth,
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and just scrolling through that and then seeing. If you are looking to like get references and that sort of thing, I can recommend Bing, as in Bing, because the image previews are so good. You
Yeah.
search and you click on the images and you click on an image and it's like, oh, this takes up the whole screen. It's not just like relegated to the corner, like the tiniest one little corner, like on Google or like
Did
this.
you just advertise for Bing?
Oh man,
You
haven't-
madman!
oh.
Pixie,
If
wait
you
till
haven't
you
used
say it.
Bing,
Apart from when I accidentally have Edge open and type something in. It's
Ask
probably-
Jeeves, Fluffy. Ask Jeeves.
I asked Jeeves and he said Bing was good.
Ah! Alright, well, with this shocking revelation? Yes, not relevation.
Relevation.
There we go.
elevation.
De-elevation. We're going to call it a day. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for the picture, Strata.
Keep drawing.
Keep drawing and showing
referencing.
us. Keep referencing.